Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Lisa's Coloring Corner. Today I would like to continue with the picture that I started out of Sunlife Drawing's Mystery Quest. And we were coloring this picture, which we can kind of figure out what it is going to be now. It is no longer a mystery. So let me zoom you back in a tad. Let's see, that should be good. And we left off with the number 6s. And yes, I did find a refill, so yep, just haven't refilled it yet, but yay, I had one. So let's go up here and let's do the 20s, which is the violet. So how is everybody doing today? It is Tuesday morning. The dreaded Monday is over with. I always hate Mondays, right? Makes even Sunday night kind of depressing. And I don't even have to work outside the home. But taking care of a 2-year-old and an 11-year-old can get trying on the patients too. Especially when they're both down with colds. Oh my gosh, I wish I had a nickel for every time Jaden sneezed yesterday. And it always hurt his throat so bad when he sneezed. But he was still in a pretty good mood, so even played with Maddie. He doesn't always do that. He adores his baby sister, and she adores him. But, you know, big brothers are big brothers. But he is typically so good with her. Oh. That's why with Heather expecting, it would be kind of nice if she would have a boy. He's kind of hoping for a baby brother. And they opted not to find out the sex of the baby. You don't hear that too often nowadays when it's so easy to find out, right? Boy, back in my day, you typically never found out because they didn't just do standard ultrasounds. I mean, there had to be a reason for an ultrasound. So yeah, we typically never did know what we were going to be having because we did not have the option. So then you always had to have a boy and a girl name picked out. And that was always the hardest part, to have you and your partner decide on the baby's name, right? Although I wouldn't be able to do what some people do, and that, I don't think it's too common, but to leave the hospital without naming your baby. To not have a name picked out ahead of time. Some people say, well, they just don't know until they see the baby, and then a name kind of just fits. And I guess I could see that. I just can't see leaving the hospital without naming your baby. Because nowadays you get the, you know, the birth certificate and everything created right in the hospital, which is nice. And you wouldn't be able to have the birth certificate made up. So yeah, you hear that every once in a while. So hopefully Bob nor I come down with their colds. Bob is still not doing well. He ended up coming home early from work yesterday around noon. He just is not feeling good yet. He had gone back to the walk-in on Saturday, and this time, instead of the ear infection, they told him he had sinus infection. So they gave him this nasal spray, but it just, his ear hurts, his throat hurts, even into his eye, all on the right side. So he was wondering if he should just go see his cancer doctor, and I said, well, he's not going to be able to do anything for you. Well, why not? He's a doctor. Yes, but he doesn't specialize in that, dear. I said, you're going to need to go to an ear, nose, and throat. We have an ENT in Wausau. I said, because that is exactly what your problem is. Well, what are they going to do? I said, they are going to insert a scope, most likely. I said, I had to have it done in the past because I had laryngitis, complete laryngitis for over a month. Yeah, try being a receptionist on a phone when you have no voice. That was not good. Made my job quite difficult. And because I was trying to force my voice by, at least making our clients be able to hear me somewhat, I was straining it even more. So when he looked at my throat with a scope, which was not pleasant because they go through your nose and go down. Ooh. Of course, I didn't tell him that. But yeah, my vocal cords were extremely red and irritated, so I was supposed to not talk at all. I was just supposed to whisper for a while until the vocal cords healed. Well, yeah, that's easier said than done too when you have a job where you must talk. So it did take a while to get my voice back, but it eventually came back, to my family's dismay. No. My kids liked it when I couldn't talk. Couldn't yell at them. So yeah, they thought it was great Mom couldn't talk. So I don't know if that's the route we're going to have to take, get him into the ear, nose, and throat. Because he can't go on like this. He's been popping ibuprofen like it's going out of style. I know his hernia was bothering him more yesterday, and I said, you got to get in for that too. Well, he's so afraid he's going to have to be off work again if he has to have surgery. And I said, well, so be it, I said, that hernia is only going to get worse and worse. Because he said it was really bugging him yesterday, and he wasn't even really lifting a whole lot. So, all kinds of things going on with him. He deserves to be healthy now after what he all went through last year with the cancer. Poor guy. I feel so bad for him, but there's not a whole lot I can do for him other than, do you need this? Do you need that? Type of thing. So yeah, so much going around right now between colds and flus and can't wait till this winter season is over. Although you do get, you know, springtime and summertime colds and flus. I don't get colds and flus too often, especially the flu. But boy, at time I had gotten a cold in the springtime, and that baby seemed to hang on forever. I think springtime and summer colds are worse than winter ones. I don't know if it's because in winter it can kill off the germs better or what. This background is so pretty. I love the colors in it. What do you think? Looks like maybe it's supposed to be a sunset. Pretty peach and pinks and purples. I had to laugh at Misty last night. Number one, whenever I'm coloring with my gel pens, like I was last night, and I have to get out the box of refills, and I shake it to, you know, try to find the one that I need, must sound like the box of treats or something, because she comes running every time. Meow. It's like, no, Misty, it's not treats. Oh, she's so funny. And then, I don't know what it is at night. Every night, this cat all of a sudden gets a burst of energy, and she goes tearing through the house. Sounds like a little Shetland pony zooming through my house. Oh my gosh, and she'll go back and forth, zoom. I have to laugh at her every time she does that. It's like, what in the world's gotten in you? And it's pretty much every night. It's like she's got to get her energy out before she can go to sleep or something. Of course, I think they sleep all day so they can be up all night. Although I typically don't hear them. I don't know if they're night owls. I know many cats are. I'm kind of a night owl myself, much more than a morning person. Although I have really changed. Bella had me up at 5:30 this morning. And yeah, typically that was not me. A lot of it had to do with my meds. But a lot of it had to do with just what I was used to too. My body was used to first going to sleep at like, 3 in the morning. And then I would sleep till like noon. And yeah, my meds really dragged me out. So that was, oh gosh, that was quite a number of years ago, and I've gone through a number of med changes, and it seems to be better. Some of the meds that I was taking in the morning got switched to the evening, and that helped too. So, but yeah, I'm still a night owl. I still enjoy the quiet house at night. Just me and the TV and coloring. The perfect evening. So yeah, after Bob goes to bed, sometimes I'll do a video at night. And other times I'll just color, catch up on YouTube. I'm still a little bit behind on that. Trying to catch everybody's videos that they recently put out. Some days it's kind of impossible so that it ends up farther down on your list, and sometimes you miss them completely. Although you always have your favorites, right? You always watch for theirs. I think we all have some favorite color tubists that we always watch for their videos to come out. Okay, is that all of, oh no, we of course have the 20s over on the other side. Alrighty. Whoops. So, how is everybody's weather? We're kind of chilly again. Over the weekend it was quite cold, but we have this weekend to look forward to. It is supposed to be in the 60s. Oh my gosh, I don't know the last time we hit 60. We are all so excited. I see kids have already been wearing shorts. I have my other grandson early this morning, little Connor. Oh, it's not so little anymore. He's getting pretty big. But yeah, he had shorts on. And it was pretty chilly this morning. But they don't care. Kids don't care. They typically are pretty warm-blooded creatures and they don't get cold. Not like us old people. I get cold so easy. Just looking at Bob makes me cold during the winter because he always has short sleeves on. Oh my gosh, I could never do that. Even now, you know, you see I always have sweatshirts on. The other day I was so cold, I think it was Sunday, I just could not warm up. And I had a big, it's a hooded sweatshirt that zips up. It's kind of like a outside coat. And I had that on over the top of my sweatshirt. So I was bundled up. I had a number of layers on. Yeah, sometimes you get like that, right? You can't warm up no matter what. And it wasn't that cold in the house. It was average. But yeah, I just had the chills. Ooh. So I bundled up for a while and later I was just fine. I don't know. I think my thermostat's going kaput. Just like everything else. Like I've said in the past, I think once you hit 50, you should be able to get a new body. At least pieces and parts. Should be able to, you know, you can order everything else from Amazon and eBay, and why can't you order that? Yeah, I don't think so either. There'd be even more of a black market for body parts. What a morbid thought. Jeez. We shall change the subject. Okay, I guess I changed it to nothing. Oh, man. Yeah, last weekend, even though it was So cold, and it was so windy. Oh my gosh. There were a couple of kids, some boys, over by the church in the parking lot over there on the blacktop. And they were older boys. They weren't young kids. And they had a remote control car. And they evidently had built a ramp for this car to go over and everything, because this one of the boys was carrying this big heavy wooden ramp that they must have built. And yeah, it was so cold and so windy. They didn't stay over there too long. I thought, today is not a good day to be doing that. But maybe they got it for Christmas and just haven't been able to get it out yet this winter. That's the bad thing about getting any outside toys for Christmas, is you can't play with them really for months. Get a new bike for Christmas. Oh, yippee. I won't be able to ride it for 4 months. I'll just have to leave it sit in the garage. There were a number of times my kids had gotten a bike for Christmas, and if they were small enough, yeah, of course they would ride it around in the house a little bit, but if it was a bigger bike, yeah, that wouldn't work. So, yeah, I figured number one, they had to have been freezing over there, and number two, I don't know how that car would have worked to, because of course the remote control car is really light, so it can go fast. And I would have thought that wind would have affected it. Let's go on to number 7, which is red. Going to have red in our lighthouse. Going to be a colorful lighthouse. What is everybody coloring? What are you working on? What are you coloring with? Or are you diamond painting while you're listening to me yammer on and on? A lot of times about nothing. We just jabber and jabber. But I know that's what I like when I listen to color and chats. You know, typically we're coloring ourselves, and many times aren't even watching, or I should say most times, not even really watching what they're coloring. We just listen to them talk. And maybe look up every once in a while, especially if they go, oops. Right? If I hear an oops, I'm like, ooh, what'd you do? Why are we like that? Just like, you know, we're so morbid, we're attracted to, you know, if there's a car accident or something like that, you got to see what happened, right? If there's fire trucks out, oh gosh, I wonder where they're going. I wonder how bad the fire is. Ambulance went out. Oh, I wonder who is needing an ambulance and why. Maybe you're not like that. Maybe it's just us. Although I know there are some fire truck and ambulance chasers, which of course they hate. They don't want you chasing after them, but oh yeah, you'll see the fire trucks go out of town, and if all of the fire trucks go, including the big pumper truck and everything, oh yeah, then you know it's more serious of a fire. So you'll see the fire trucks all go out of town, and then a whole bunch of cars behind it. It's like, geez, let them do their work. We don't typically do that. We'll just turn the scanner on and see what's going on. Bob a while back, because all scanners went digital now, quite a while back. And so the scanner that he had, of course, no longer picked up signals. So he went and bought himself a digital handheld scanner. And you know, so many of the channels, they still scramble. So all you hear is this bloop, 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 bloop. Like a cross between chipmunks and Martians talking. And it's like, well, what good was it getting a digital scanner? And those things are not cheap by any means. He spent quite a bit on that thing, and I had to get, can't remember what brand it is now, but we could not figure out how to program this thing. Oh my gosh, talk about complicated. And you were supposed to be able to go on their website and be able to just download something or another, and I tried to figure that out. That wouldn't work either. So then we got the company itself on the line, and he walked me through manually adding a bunch of our channels around here. And then I know that there are some more that I can manually add. I just haven't done it yet, because I had gotten a listing off the internet of all of our emergency channels around here. But yeah, he hardly gets anything in on that thing. He is so disappointed. You know, he would have it out, you know, and sitting by him, and even if we would hear the sirens go or something, it wouldn't pick anything up. So I don't know what the heck. I'm going to have to look at that listing and see what I have programmed in there for him and what still needs to be added. I don't know. It's like people pay good money for those digital scanners now. You're not supposed to be allowed to scramble. We want to hear what's going on too. And it's like one side of the conversation would be scrambled, and then the other side from Wassa here wouldn't be. So we could hear them talk back or ask questions, but we could never hear the reply. That was aggravating. And still never knew what was going on. Nosy people that we are. You guys have scanners in your area? Do you use them? Do they work? So yeah, he's been a little bummed out about that thing. Was so excited to get it. It's still in frame, yeah. It is bright and early on Tuesday morning. Bella had me up at 5:30 this morning. She woke up once before that and wanted to get up, but it wasn't even 4:30 yet. And I'm like, pupper dog. You lay back down for a little bit. That was a little bit early, considering we went to bed after midnight. It was closer to 12:30. Of course, she was snoozing on the couch the entire evening, so yeah, she got plenty of sleep. She was raring to go. It's like, Mama's not. Mama's the boss. Not really. The pets are the boss, right? When they're hungry, you feed them. When they have to go potty, you take them outside. You have to cater to them, especially dogs. You know, cats, not so much unless they need food. And you clean out their litter box every day, right? That's about it. Cats are pretty self-sufficient. I think that's why I like cats better. Sorry, Bella. All right, number 8. We go to red orange. And yes, as you can see, I will not be getting this picture done in this color and chat either, so there will be a part 3, but that's okay. I will record that probably tomorrow morning and then hope to get that out. I'm hoping to get this one out today. Depends how Miss Maddie is when she gets here, if she'll let me get at it. Because typically, you know, once the recording is done, the rest of the time, because it still takes hours before you can actually get it on YouTube. But after the editing is done and making the thumbnail and stuff, the majority of the other time you're truly not on the computer. You're just waiting for it to do its thing. So I typically can get that done while she's here. She's getting old enough now where she can, you know, play more on her own. Although she still loves to be up in my lap. She is a lap girl. If she's watching a video on YouTube or if she is playing one of her games, she still likes to be up in Grandma's lap, which is okay. Before you know it, they're not going to want to have anything to do with you. You know, no, don't give me a kiss. Don't give me a hug. Get away. I can still remember when my son, now this is many years ago, when he was little, he loved to sit on my lap and just have me play with his hair. It must have felt, you know, really good to him. And so, yeah, I just had to run my fingers through his hair, and I think it was just, you know, it was relaxing, felt good. It was contact with Mom. And of course, when you're a younger mom and you're, you know, working full time and you're trying to get stuff done at night, you still, of course, take time out to do it for him, but yet you're thinking of other things you gotta do. Oh, I gotta throw that load of laundry in yet, and I gotta do this, and I gotta do that. And now I look back at it, and I'm like, aw, that was so sweet. That was so cute. All right, let's do number 2s, which is gray. Yeah, in part 1 of this, remember I had another color that seemed to be getting dry. What color was that? I know my peach, but what was the other one? You guys remember? I should have pulled that one out too. Yeah, I didn't refill my peach yet, but I did look in my stack of refills, and I do have it. So just got to take the time to refill it. As I've said in the past a number of times, I want to get coloring with my Copics more and take those online classes that I've all signed up for. It's just, now with starting up this YouTube channel especially, it's like there's just not enough time in the day. Because of course I still want to relax and do my coloring too. Don't get a chance to do that as much as I used to, but I still curl up in my chair and get my gel pens out at night, and yep, that's my relaxation. When I got together my video for that I just put out a little while ago for what I all colored in the month of March, I realized that I actually colored more than I thought. And yet at the same time, it seems like I colored more. That doesn't make sense at all, does it? I've, oops, colored that in. Oh well. I forgot to turn my phone on airplane mode. Typically that's the first thing I do before I start recording, is I turn my phone on airplane mode so that I don't, you know, get any notifications, or I don't know if any of that shows up on your end. Like I just got a couple of texts here now from my daughter in regard to Connor and his diabetes that I have to watch today. I'm assuming you guys don't see that, even though it comes up on my screen. I'll have to watch back and see. But you probably heard it ding. I have the doorbell ring whenever I get a text. So if you hear ding dong, that's just my text. It's not somebody here that I have to go answer the door. It's so funny. Number of times in the past, I'll get a text and it'll go ding dong, and one of my grandkids that are here, who's here? It's like, nobody. I heard the door. No, just my phone, just my phone. Alrighty. Let's get on to number 5, and 5 is tan. Take a sip quick. And while I think of it, while we're going to the next color, as I mentioned in past videos, because I'm having problems with this recording software, when I make, excuse me, when I make long videos, so I am periodically between a half hour and 45 minutes, I'm just going to quickly end this clip and start a new one. And most of the time it'll be real transparent for you guys, but I'm going to quickly go check on Mr. Connor, and I will be right back. One moment. Okay, I am back. Connor, number 5, right? Yeah. He has what's called a Dexcom that monitors his insulin on a continuous basis. And he's got an app on his phone. He has to be in, you know, close contact with his Dexcom, which there's like a wire that goes underneath his skin in his arm, and then it's like it's got a sticky, you know, so it sticks to his skin and stays on. And then they just have to replace that. I think it's every few weeks. Take out the old Dexcom, put a new one on. So then Tanya has an app on her phone, and she can monitor his sugar levels throughout the day via this app. So it's really nice and really convenient. Gives Tanya peace of mind throughout the day while she's at work. that she can monitor his blood sugar, which is really nice for me too when I'm watching him, because, and this is getting kind of bright and washed out, isn't it? It's getting lighter outside. Let me turn off my light here. Is that a little better? When I have him, because of course I'm not as familiar with, I mean, I know what his levels should be at. I know what's normal, what's high. But as far as carb count, because of course that's what you have to count, and that'll determine how many units of insulin he should have and all of that good stuff. Well, depending upon if his sugar is spiking or if it's running low, or, you know, whatever, determines if he should have a snack or what he should have for lunch and how many units of insulin he should have with that. She can let me know. And she'll just text me, and, you know, so it works out really good. Well, last night his Dexcom came out, which typically does not happen, but I guess he said he was running around a lot yesterday, and last night, during the night, the wire must have came out from under his skin, and the sticky part wasn't as sticky anymore, so yep, Dexcom came out. So, as she said, she's kind of flying blind today and going by the seat of her pants, because she can't really watch his blood sugar now. So he'll have to do his finger sticks more often today. That's what's really nice about the Dexcom is, you know, the kid doesn't have to constantly poke his finger. He still has to at times. Every morning the Dexcom has to be calibrated, and or when he gets here he'll calibrate it and make sure that the Dexcom is reading correctly, and if not, they have to sync it up again. Let's go to 22, which is pretty magenta. So yeah, we'll be kind of having a, oh no, my magenta is dried out. What about the brush end? Brush end is okay. Oh, I'll have to remember to put this one on the side too. Wonder if the cap wasn't on tight. I usually try to watch that. Make sure you snap them on good, but I hope I don't have a lot of 22s. Nope, doesn't look like it. Love this color though. I typically like the brush end or the fine tip for things like this. For coloring other things, I definitely prefer this nice brush tip. But it just seems for, you know, real teeny areas, like, you know, when you're going around in circles like this, the fine tip that I replaced in all my Copics, because I didn't like that chisel tip. So I do use that fine nib quite a bit too. I love the fact that a few years ago Copic came out with that fine tip nib, but they are not cheap. So I would just periodically, you know, get a few packs of the fine tip nibs and, you know, gradually switch out all of the chisels for the fine tip until eventually I had them all replaced. Took a while. Just like it took a long time just to get this entire set of Copics. It's not like you can afford to buy the entire set all at once. Unless you're rich, of course. But who of us are rich. I don't think any of us are, right? Although I did want to thank all of you for, and I don't think maybe I've said this in the past, or if I did, I don't say it enough. I really appreciate the fact that you guys have been purchasing through my Amazon affiliate links down below. Whenever I leave links, they are Amazon affiliate links. Or else I have a generic affiliate link down below too, so you can purchase anything off of Amazon, and it doesn't cost you guys anything extra. But by going through the affiliate links, I get a few pennies off of each thing that you buy, and it does add up after a while. So I do really appreciate it when you guys use those links. That is awesome. Helps me out. And even if you click on an affiliate link to purchase a book or something, and then you go and buy something totally unrelated to coloring, because you are still on my link, anything you purchase I get a little percentage of. So that is really nice. And of course, oh yeah, I was going to put magenta on the side. And it just all goes back into the channel. Gives me a chance to, you know, try out some different products and give you guys reviews or purchase books. And of course, goes to giveaways for you guys so I can give back to you. And I love being able to do that. Being able to occasionally include you international subscribers. I don't like to ignore you either. I know you guys are left out in a lot of giveaways, and you're all very understanding about that, and you totally understand why. It would cost us, you know, like double in shipping, at least double than what the product is even worth. So it's nice when we can include you in giveaways. And even if, you know, we're shipping something out here in the States, if an international subscriber wins sometimes, we can just get you either a gift card from Etsy, which is what I did for my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. And it was an international winner for that giveaway. So I still have that 168 set of Sioux color markers sitting here. So we may in the future, well, not may, we will be having another giveaway, so I can give those markers to somebody. And yes, unfortunately, that one will be United States only, so that I can ship those out to somebody. Because the gal that did win that giveaway was finally able to get in contact with me. I guess her daughter had been quite sick, and that's why she was not able to get in contact with me, didn't realize she had won. So I was so glad she was able to get in contact with me before her time ran out. Almost did, though. And like I said, she won fair and square, so I was really hoping she could get in contact with me. So that's all taken care of. So yeah, sometime in the near future, And it's going to be a surprise giveaway this time. It's not going to be announced. It is just going to be embedded in one of my videos so that one of my subscribers who is, what's the word I'm looking for? Who is very supportive of me and my channel and watches all my videos through, will then hear of the giveaway. So that people, these trolls, if you want to call them that do just searches on YouTube for giveaways and enter them, they subscribe to the channel just to enter the giveaway, and then once the winner is announced, and if they didn't win, they unsubscribe. Hate that people are out there that do that, so that they can't win. Now, many times I do still, you know, put giveaway in my title, because I still do gain some subscribers that stay with me. So a lot of times I do kind of announce it in the title and description. But I'm going to periodically be doing the secret giveaways too now. And again, especially with the support you're giving me through the affiliate links, I will be able to periodically do that. Some of those will include international and some of them won't, depending upon if it is something that I am shipping from my house here or not. Because I do have a number of books over here yet that I can still use for giveaways. I have a few other coloring supplies to give away. So I have that big marker set yet, that 168 set. I have a smaller set of markers here that I had gotten for a previous video called the Tiny Tin Challenge. So it's just a small set of 12. And then I have my Coccyx markers that I did a review on. I am probably going to be having a giveaway for them too, because I have plenty of markers. So I would like to gift them to somebody who will use them and give them some love. I may have some pencil sets also. I did purchase the 120 set of Crayola pencils. So I have my 100 set that I will be including in a giveaway. So yeah, there will be a number of giveaways coming up throughout the year. Again, I am able to give back to you guys, to thank you for all of your support, your lovely comments. They just, like I said in the past, they make my day. Make me feel good, and it is, you know, I enjoy this channel so much because of you that is why I want to continue doing this. Does it take up a lot of my time? Yep. But it is time well spent for me. I enjoy doing this so much. Otherwise, like other YouTubers, we wouldn't do it. You know, if it felt like, you know, we had to get up and go to a job, you know, if it felt like a job, and we weren't enjoying it, I don't think our YouTube would last too long. I think it would show in our videos, and yeah, I don't think our channel would be too successful if you dreaded making the videos and you weren't excited about what you were doing. That would definitely come through, I believe. So yes, as often as I can, I like to say thank you. And I am trying to get some things off of my video to-do list. That list just seems to keep on growing, which is great. You know, I love the fact that I have so many ideas yet for videos that I want to do. Plus, I also get requests from you guys. And I love that too. I love it when I get questions from you, or could you show this, or could you do a video on this? And I do have a few outstanding videos regarding questions from you guys. So I do got to get on that, because I like to get those out ahead of what I have scheduled or planned, or my ideas. So a few of them are in the works. A couple of them I have to do a little bit of research on before I can do the video. So then it always takes a little bit longer to do those videos and get them up. And I am going to be having a very exciting, I think, video coming out. I'm hoping this week yet. I'm still in the process of getting all of my info together and everything that I'm going to need for this video, but it is specifically going to be geared towards those of you who use colored pencils, specifically Prismacolor and Polychromos, which of course are the two most popular pencils out there. So be on the lookout for that. Again, I'm still kind of working on it and getting everything together, but I'm really excited about getting that video out to you guys. It was something that I discovered on another YouTube channel about something that this whole coloring system she has put together, and it is awesome. So yeah, I think it should be interesting to many of you. I realize there are a number of you that are just marker people, and while I prefer markers and gel pens, I do like pencils also, and I do want to get into my pencils more. That's also on my to-do list. Because I do have so many different brands of pencils. I want to give them love too. They have been sitting on my shelf long enough being ignored. They are starting to rebel. They are threatening to leave. Don't want that to happen. So yeah, can't wait to get that video made. And even if you are a marker person, you may find it interesting. On blending, it may give you ideas for colors that go together with marker too. So how many of you colorists have been enabled by those of us doing the YouTube channels that have started diamond painting? Now, I've been diamond painting for a number of years now, and I just, you didn't see them on color tube channels, so I just never, oh, itchy nose. So I just never, you know, did videos on diamond painting because I figured none of you would be interested in that. This was a color tube channel. And I almost was thinking of changing my YouTube channel name so that I could include other crafts. So it was going to be like Lisa's Crafting Corner. And then I thought, well, that's really hard to do once you start getting subscribers, because they are looking for, you guys look for, you know, Lisa's Coloring Corner then. So to me, it would be very difficult to change the name of a YouTube channel. It would be very confusing to you, and even though I would definitely have made an announcement, of course, not everybody sees every video. So I really didn't want to do that. And lo and behold, I didn't have to worry about it because more color tube channels are including diamond painting. And I know that does not pertain to all of you because many of you have not gotten into diamond painting. At least not yet. I have heard from so many of you that have gotten bit by the bug from us that have been showing our diamond painting. And I think you have gotten just as addicted to it as we are. And boy, it is just like coloring, you know. Once you start buying some kits and stuff, it's hard to stop. I have so many kits to do in my stash, and they're not just small partials either that you can knock out in a few days. Oh no. Lisa likes to do big diamond paintings, so the vast majority of mine, I would say probably 90%, are all large, full, square diamond paintings, which take the longest out of any of them. I do not have any partials. But I have started buying some smaller, round diamond paintings, and I've mentioned this in the past, because I wanted to maybe start doing some in my chair rather than sitting at my drafting table, and just really be able to sit and relax and do diamond painting. So that's why I bought that smaller stand, that tray, so that I can do diamond painting in my chair. And because rounds, at least to me, are much easier to do than the square diamond paintings, I decided to try some round diamond paintings. And I had started one on camera, and I think I did, how many videos did I do on that thing yet? I think only 2. And I think one of them was because one of you subscribers wanted to see the difference in how a square diamond painting is done versus a round diamond painting. So I had gotten that one out because it's a round, and we worked on that one for a while, and then I got out the one I'm doing for Maddie, the Minnie Mouse one, because that one is a full square. So I got to work on both of them, and I typically never have more than one going at a time, but I wanted to start that round one and work on it on camera with you guys. I just haven't been able to get back to it. Too many other things coming up. I always wanted to do one color in chat, one diamond painting in chat, I should say, a week. Yeah, that has not been happening. Because, yeah, my to-do list, just like my wish list on Amazon, keeps growing. I get enabled by other YouTube channels, and it's like, ooh, that looks neat. Boom, on the wish list it goes. Or boom, in my cart it goes. I don't know how that happens sometimes. Sometimes I go to Amazon, and holy cow, there are 5 things in my cart. I have no idea how they got there. Nope. I plead the 5th. And then before I know it, they arrive at my door, and I don't know how that happened either. Does anybody else have gremlins in their Amazon account? Or at the store, too. You know, things just kind of fly off the shelves and just end up in your cart. And you check out, and you're like, how did that get in there? Excuse me. Yep. These coloring supplies just want to come home to good homes. So yeah, that has happened to me a number of times in the past. As you can tell from my haul videos, I had a lot of coloring books last month that just kind of jumped in my cart on Amazon and appeared at my doorstep. Unfortunately, they came out of my checking account too somehow. So yeah. What is the weather like by you guys? Is it getting nice down in the south? I had gotten a picture sent to me via email from one of my subscribers that is over, oh gosh, I apologize if I get this wrong. If you are watching this, I believe it was in the UK, and she sent me a picture of beautiful little tree in her backyard that was blossoming out, and I'm like, oh, I wish, but should be not too long, and we should be having blossoms and buds on our trees too. Long as it's not like last year when the trees were already, the buds were even opening, and we got a huge winter storm. I think it was mid-April last year, and we got dumped on with like a foot of snow in April. Oh, that was so mean of Mother Nature. Not just to us, but to those poor trees and the poor birds. Oh my gosh, I felt so sorry for all the robins and It's like, what are they going to eat? Can't get to the ground to eat, you know, to get bugs or anything. I don't know how they survive. They were still out though. And there were still plenty of robins and stuff throughout the summer, so somehow they made it through. We have so many of the robins right now that are nesting. And every darn year, I don't know if it's the same pair of birds or not, we have robins that come in the garage and try to make nests up on top of the garage door opener. So, of course, we don't want them nesting in there. And it's not necessarily because of the mess they make, because there's always twigs and stuff all over the ground. I forgot a light green here. But mainly because, you know, what are they going to do when that garage door is shut at night? You know, they're not going to be able to come in, especially once the babies are born. And they will be locked out or locked in when the garage door is shut. So these poor robins have their nest tore down all the time, and then they'll come right back in and build it back up. And like I said, I feel so bad for them, but it's for their own good because they can't have their babies in there. Or like I said, they're going to be locked out at night. Or like I said, we don't want the robin locked in there all night. So yes, these silly birds. There's plenty of trees around to nest in. Why do they every year have to come into my garage and make a nest? I suppose it's because it's out of the elements, right? They don't get rained on. It's not as windy. Like a bird thinks of that, right? Because I think that's where the phrase bird brain came from. That's not nice. Does that mean birds just don't have much of a brain? Well, I don't know. In some respects, they're pretty darn smart. I love when you see a big swarm, big flock of birds overhead, and they're just zooming around, and then they all turn at the same time, this whole flock of birds, and they'll swoop this way, and the whole flock turns. It's so cool to see. I love that. It's like, how do they all know that they're all going to turn at that time? It's so neat. Just like it always amazes me, the huge trek that all these birds take every fall and every spring. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of miles the geese fly and other birds. And like the monarchs, there was a show on the migration of monarchs, you know, and how they fly all the way down to Mexico. I mean, thousands of miles these monarchs go every year. And then they particularly hit this one area of Mexico, and the entire forest just has millions upon millions of monarch butterflies, and that's where they stay down there during the winter months, and then make the big trek back up here. And it's like, how can those little wings fly that far? It just amazes me. Mother Nature is so interesting anyhow. I mean, even the penguins, is it the king penguin or the emperor penguin? The long trek that I believe it's the mother makes, and the father stays and watches over the egg and the little ones. And the mom goes after, I think, is it after the egg hatches? Because while she's sitting on the egg, then the dad goes and travels hundreds of miles for food, and then once he gets back, then he watches the egg or the little one while she travels hundreds of miles for food. I mean, Mother Nature is so interesting. Love watching our PBS channel that has the nature shows on. The only ones I don't like, because I am such an animal lover, is I know it's survival of the fittest, and I know these wild animals, you know, everything has to eat, right? It's just, I can't watch it. I cannot. And, you know, it's the circle of life. But especially when, you know, sometimes some of the babies die. Bob was watching a show, oh, it was a few weeks ago, and one of the little baby monkeys had died. And I'm like, I can't watch this. Plug my fingers in my ears and close my eyes. Me. But he likes those programs. They are awesome programs. I just, or just any suffering of any animal, just, oh, I can't stand to watch that. When they show, you know, what poachers do to elephants and rhinos and whatnot for their horns, just makes me sick. It's like, everybody put a ban on ivory. Do not purchase anything with real ivory. I hope they catch every single poacher out there. Oh, that makes me so angry. They'll show these pictures of these huge elephants or rhinos that are dead and they have no horn left. So sick. Okay, let's get on to a better subject. I don't even want to think about it. Nasty. How did I get on that anyhow? Jeez. Oh, lordy. I do have a few collabs coming up with some other color tubists. I believe I have 3 now. Some of the details are being worked out yet. I do have one with, and I was mistaken. I believe in a past video I did say that it was going to be in April. When I think it's when I showed my coloring book haul for the month of March. And I had bought a number of the Dover Spark books. I was mistaken. Our collab is not in April. I don't know what I was thinking. Our collab is not until next month in May. So we will be coloring out of the Spark books. And then in June, I have a collab with Sandy from Color Creatively, and we are going to be coloring all types of fairies. It's going to be all fairy themed. At least that's what is planned as of now. And then a couple of you guys had awesome suggestions for collaborations, and one was a color by number collaboration, and I thought, oh, that would be awesome. I have so many color by number books. And the other suggestion that I love too is chibis. If you've seen any of my hauls, know that I have been buying chibi girl books by the truckload. No, not quite. But I have many chibi girl books now. And so I tentatively have that set up for July. Right now, that's what we're thinking. Samantha and I, and trying to possibly get a third person in that collab with me. So, may be doing chibis in July. Because I know August is always Creative Haven month, so I don't want to run into August. That is such a popular collaboration for so many people, because, I mean, pretty much every single one of us has a number of Creative Haven books. Oh, I gotta stretch. Okay, I am again going to pause this for a little. Alrighty, I am back. Just at the point when I was going to just start another segment, my phone rang because I forgot to put airplane mode on, and it somehow screwed up the system. I couldn't start recording again, but I finally got it figured out. So, I am thinking I have a little bit of time yet this morning before Maddie gets here. And I am actually going to try to finish this picture because we only got this, you know, little bit down here to do. So, if I don't get this finished this morning, I am just going to finish it up tonight and just make it all one video anyhow. Doesn't pay to have a part 3 for this little bit. This video will just be a little bit longer, color and chat again. Not that I've ever done that in the past, and so, no. So, what were we talking about before we were so rudely interrupted? Was I thanking you guys again for being so awesome? I have a little doggy back here that is woofing at me. That's another thing I was going to say is thank you all for your comments and your concern about Bella being so sick. It meant a lot to me. And she is definitely on the mend. She is getting better and better every day. Except the little bugger will not eat all that food that I prepared for her Friday night. Made a batch of the boiled hamburger, which looked horrid to me. Boiled hamburger with made batch of rice, mixed that all, mushed it all together, and then a bigger batch of chicken, boiled a bunch of chicken thighs because I figured that would have more flavor for her than chicken breasts. And, you know, mushed that together, shredded it, and kind of mushed it all together with some rice. Because my vet said to, you know, include some rice in it. And no, she will not eat it. She ate just a teeny bit of it yesterday, but not much. So I don't know what I'm going to do with all of that food. The hamburger, there's not a lot there because I only boiled up 1 pound of hamburger and then mixed it with the rice. But the chicken, the smallest, I mean, I got the smallest pack of chicken thighs I could find. But even the smallest pack was quite large. And I figured I might as well make the whole thing because if I only made part of it, I would have to freeze, you know, the other thighs, and there wouldn't have been enough to really make another meal or anything out of for us. So I thought, well, I'll make it, and then she can, you know, have this bland food for a while. No, will not eat it. The only smaller pack I could have gotten of chicken would have been if I would have went and, you know, if I would have gotten the real expensive, either organic chicken or, you know, something like that. They had smaller packs of that, but it would have cost me a fortune. So yeah, I told Bob if he wanted some of the, you know, the chicken and rice. But it is so bland because, of course, I didn't add any salt or seasoning or anything to it. So it is extremely blah. I don't know. I guess it's not like I spent a fortune on the chicken, or rice, of course, is not expensive, so. But it just about kills Bob to throw anything away. He will eat it, even if he doesn't want to. Any kind of food, he will eat it just for the sake of not throwing it out. And I suppose that goes back to how he was raised. He was raised, you know, in a very large family. I think there were, was there 15 of them in the family, or 16, something like that. A whole lot of them. And so they grew up, you know, being very frugal, you know, with a family that size. And you know, made the biggest meals that you could out of very budget-friendly items. So he said they had a lot of, you know, potatoes, and they would buy the great big bags of potatoes that you could get back then, which didn't cost much at all. And potatoes were filling, so yeah, they ate a lot of potatoes, I guess. So I'm sure he grew up with the mindset that you do not throw anything away. And you know, I would think that that's how a lot of people grew up. Whereas nowadays, everything is disposable. You know, even our appliances, TVs, everything is disposable. You don't fix anything anymore. You just throw them away and get new, and we wonder why our landfills are getting so full, right? Bob will definitely try to fix something before he throws it away, and many times he is able to fix it. When my last big screen TV went out, it was through some Google research. I found that it was the computer board in the back of the TV, and with typing in the model number and whatnot, I was able to find one of these boards to buy. And yeah, he took the TV all apart, got the back off, figured out how to get that board out. Kind of like a, you know, the motherboard on a computer, and he replaced it, and it worked. In the meantime, I had purchased a new TV, so then he just took that TV out to where his brothers and sisters still live. They live together in the home that they grew up in, and so then they got a large screen TV. So all was good. But yeah, otherwise that TV would have been thrown in the, you know, the landfill. So yeah, it's sad that in this day and age everything is disposable. You throw everything out and buy new. And of course, that's how this generation was all raised. So you know that's how it's going to be staying, because they're going to raise their kids that way. You wonder if it's ever going to come back the other way. I can't imagine what this world is going to be like by the time, say, my grandkids are older and, you know, maybe start having families of their own. So when the next generation is starting to have kids, what this world is going to be like. You know, what are electronics going to be like by that time? Because it all advances so fast. When I think back to when I was in school, yes, way back then, and I know this is going to blow some of y'all minds, especially you youngins. We did not have electric typewriters. Of course, there was no such thing as computers when I was in high school. And the majority in typing class, the majority of the typewriters were all manual typewriters. We had a few electric typewriters. Boy, I am really showing my age. But you know, when you think about it, it was not that long ago. It is just that we have advanced that fast. I mean, I am not even 60 yet, so I'm not that old. I graduated in 1980. So yes, I guess I am old. But that is how fast we have advanced, and it just amazes me. That's why I said I can't imagine what the world is going to be like by, I don't know, say in 50 years from now. Can you imagine? You think we'll have the flying cars by now? Didn't they say by like 2020 or something that we were supposed to have the flying cars? Well, I don't think that's going to be happening, but they're definitely making advances in every aspect. Look at how far the space program has gone. I'm surprised by now they haven't had another expedition to the moon. Dispel the stories, you know, there are so many non-believers that we ever walked on the moon in the first place. And they're trying to explain away all these pictures, you know, where Neil Armstrong had the flag and stuff up there, and how they filmed them jumping around in zero gravity. And it's like, come on. Why would they do that? Well, I'm sure there's reasons why, but still. Oh, this marker's getting dry too, and I don't know if I have a refill for this. Another one to put on the side. Oh, it must be 9 o'clock. I hear Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on. So yeah, I'm not sure if I am going to get this picture done this morning. Depends upon if Heather's here early again. She typically comes right around 9:30, but lately she's been showing up at 1/4 which is not a big deal, except for when I'm not expecting it and I'm recording. It's like, oops, gotta go. Oh, man. It's like, don't surprise me like that. She's been so busy at work that she's been trying to get there a little early when she can. She is the manager now of the place where she works. And it's a mailing company where they take in these huge projects of people that want to mail out mass mailings. And by going through the company that Heather works for, they can mail their mail out at a discounted rate. But I mean, they get orders in where, you know, you're talking, you know, 50,000 pieces or, you know, stuff like that. And huge projects. And with Heather being the manager there now, I'm so proud of her. She has worked her way up the ranks because she's very innovative. And she would always have ideas for them on how they could better this or make this faster. And, you know, and she had no problems telling them, you know. And that is the best place to get your ideas from, is from your workers that are actually doing the work. Because if they think outside the box, many of them come up with these great ideas because they're the ones that are actually doing the work. So they would know what would work faster or better. So I love it when companies take the ideas of their workers and they actually implement them. We are getting there. And I see we do have grass and then water down here, and so I think that looks pretty neat. Can't wait until their next book is out. Ooh, I'm so looking forward to that. I think I explained it in my first part of this, the color and chat, but I'll talk about it again. It's going to be the same for any of you that had gotten the One Color Animal Stencils book, which I loved that book. And they are going to be making, instead of one color animal stencils, it is going to be color by number animal stencils. So yeah, I can't wait for that one to come out. That one should be a lot of fun. Yes, this marker is getting quite dry. I guess I'm glad I didn't bother refilling that other one yet, because if I have a refill for this, I'm just going to do them both at the same time. Phew, I'm glad I don't have any more 16s, because I don't know how much longer this marker was going to last. But we made it through. Okay, number 17 is regular blue. So we will just go as long as we can today. What time is it? Yeah, it's about 10 after 9, so depending on when she's coming today, she could be here in a little bit. So if I have to quick say, okay, bye, I'll be back later, you know why. Huh? Her daughter must have come. But then, yeah, I'll just come back on tonight, finish this little bit up, join all the sections together, and make one longer color and chat. I am so glad from the comments that you guys are enjoying my channel, that you like my color and chats. I'm always worried about when I'm doing a color and chat that I'm going to run out of things to talk about. I think that's my biggest problem with color and chats is I'm worried I'm going to run out of things to say. And it's kind of hard to have a color and chat when all you're doing is coloring and not chatting. It would not be called a color and chat. It would just be called a color. And again, because I know many of you are just coloring yourself and listening and not really watching, it really wouldn't be too interesting of a video, because I by no means do tutorials of any sort, because I am not good enough at pretty much any type of coloring. It's just stuff that I enjoy doing. But yeah, I will never say that I am an expert in any area of coloring, so you will never see regular tutorials on this channel. There are plenty of other channels that you can go to actually get tutorials and how-to videos. When I started this channel, it definitely was not to provide tutorials. It is just a chatty channel. Whether it's coloring or now diamond painting. I really want to get back to that diamond painting, especially the Minnie Mouse one. I have until the beginning of June to get that done, and while that sounds quite a ways away, it's going to be here before I know it. And I am in the big citywide rummage sales this year, so I have to dedicate time to that too. And anybody that has done a rummage sale knows how much work it is. Just getting out the things for the rummage sale, pricing everything, I think is the worst. You know, the tearing down is bad enough, but setting up, cleaning out the entire garage, and the rummage sale is more for Heather than it is for me. I don't have a whole lot to put in it. So, but she has a lot of stuff, you know, especially like kids' clothes. You know, anytime you have younger children, especially smaller ones like Maddie, who grow out of their clothes quite fast, you're going to have a lot of kids' clothes. And while she is keeping quite a bit of it, because, like I said, they're not finding out whether they're having a boy or a girl, which really made them pause as to whether they should find out or not, because, you know, if she's having a girl, you know, she doesn't want to really get rid of the clothes. But yet if she's having a boy, why hang on to all that stuff? So I guess in that regard, I probably would have found out. You hate to get rid of stuff if you can use it. So, and clothes are so expensive. Although, when they're itty bitty, we're going to go with the dark brown now. So there must be some land in here too, huh? When they're real small and the clothes don't get worn out at all, to pick up secondhand clothes, I don't have a problem with that at all. And that's why children's clothing is always our biggest seller. Oh, they're here. I am going to have to go. I will be back later. I am back. I kind of bribed Connor into watching Maddie for a little bit. No, I didn't even have to bribe him. He is really good about that, and Maddie just adores Connor. She was so excited when she seen that he was here. So, I could quick finish this picture, and then I can spend today, during the day, rendering it, getting it all into my editing software and piecing all the pieces together. Because I'll probably have about, what, four pieces to put together. So we will do this number 10, which is yellow orange. Wonder what this is supposed to represent down here with this bright orange. Maybe they're going to be poppies. No, I have no idea. I guess we shall find out. And so if you hear any kids in the background, it's them. But Maddie loves watching him play Xbox. So they're in the Xbox room. It's a spare bedroom, but that's where the Xbox is. These grandkids are so spoiled. They have their own Xbox when they come to Grandma's. See, they like coming by Grandma's house and staying by Grandma's house, but I don't think it's because of Grandma. Jaden loves spending the night too, but I don't think it's because of Grandma. He's got the iPads and he's got the Xbox. What more does a kid need, right? Some snacks. So yeah, seeing as how we're so close to being done, I really wanted to get this done during the day. So yeah, then I can spend the time getting it all rendered and saved and all that good stuff that takes so long to do, so that I can get this part 2 up today yet. So yeah, I don't think it's going to take too long to finish this. It's so cute the way Maddie just adores Connor, and I think a lot of it has to do to the fact that Connor likes her too, and Connor has no problem spending time with her, and so yeah, she just loves it. And Connor's such a good kid anyhow. His brother, Logan, that I have periodically on the weekends, is a good kid too, so she's got good boys. Okay, number 3 is dark brown. And I think, yeah, we were starting dark brown before I got so rudely interrupted by my granddaughter. Just kidding. And yeah, Heather was a little early today again because she's got so much going on at work, and she's got a lot of billing that she's got to get out. She told me on her next paycheck she's going to have, what'd she say, 109 hours, because she's been coming down on the weekends too to work. So she was down on Saturday and Sunday this past weekend to work on some big project they have going on. So just the gas alone, because again, she lives up in Tomahawk. I'm about an hour away from her, so to get to work is about 45-minute drive. So yeah, I don't know. I think that drive would get rather sickening. I don't mind driving. I like driving. But when it comes to, you know, having to drive it to work every day, ugh. You know, you have to get up and get ready so much earlier, and especially when you have little ones. No, thank you. I remember that grind when my kids were little and I didn't have far to drive. I had, you know, maybe a 15-minute drive to the daycare center and then probably another 15-20 minutes from there. So it all adds up, I guess, but... And then she's got to first travel out here, drop the kids off, and then travel back to Wausau to go to work. So yeah, I forgot how much gas she says she goes through a week. It's a lot. Keep telling her she should move closer. She just doesn't listen to me. Well, and especially now that they bought a house up in Tomahawk. They won't be moving. Plus, his whole family is up in Tomahawk. So... I said it sure would be convenient. Oh well. It is what it is, right? It's getting nice and sunny outside. We'll see how warm it gets from the sun. Although you can already tell that the sun is getting warmer and warmer, because even like over the weekend, the air temperature itself was not very warm. It was quite chilly out this past weekend. But yet from the warm sun, because the sun was out at least, it still melted some of the snow. Our snowbanks are getting smaller and smaller. Cannot wait until, because you know now it's not, you know, pretty white snow anymore, like, you know, in winter when you get a nice, you know, snowfall and it's all pretty and white, if snow could ever be classified as pretty. And yeah, now it's just all that dirty, yucky gray snow when, you know, the trees are still all bare and no grass yet. So yeah, this is kind of an ugly time of year here. Nothing growing yet. It's one of the best parts of the year is when you just start seeing some of that spring, that bright spring grass starting to pop through. And you start seeing the buds on the trees. And then you start seeing the spring flowers starting to pop through the ground. All my hostas out front. So yeah, spring is always an exciting time of year. It's almost kind of like the rebirth of the ground. I love spring. I hate fall. I know fall can be pretty with its, at least up here, you know, with all the leaves changing and, you know, they're all pretty colors, especially the red maples. Oh. Some of the trees get just such gorgeous colors. The beautiful oranges and yellows and reds. But I have a hard time enjoying that because I know what season's coming next. So fall kind of depresses me. And especially in wintertime with the short daylight hours, I kind of get a little bit of seasonal affective disorder. And a number of years ago they had me try one of those light boxes. Any of you that have SAD, you probably know what I'm talking about. And you sit in front of this box, this bright box of light for, I think they had me do it just for under a half an hour, you know, 15-20 minutes. So it's not like it took up, you know, big amount of time. But it just really didn't seem to do anything for me. And that was a number of years ago. So yeah, winter is kind of a depressing time for me, especially after the holidays. Because, you know, at least you have the holidays to look forward to and getting together with family and friends and things like that. Well, you know, once that's done and over with, there's not a whole heck of a lot to look forward to around here. Besides snow, snow, and more snow, and cold, cold, and more cold. And I know it would be different if I actually did some winter activities, but the fact that I don't like being cold, I have never gotten into skiing. I know, like, many years ago, my older sister got into cross-country skiing, and it is such a terrific workout, you know, doing the cross-country skiing. It's hard work. Just like Cameron, my son, his wife, and her mother do snowshoeing in winter, and that too is a tremendous workout. Burn a lot of calories doing snowshoeing. I don't think I could do that. Of course, I don't think I could cross-country ski either. I'd probably fall flat on my face. When I was younger, I used to water ski, and I loved that. That's kind of a hard thing to learn too. Of course, the hardest part is getting up. Once you're up, you know, you're good to go, as a rule. Of course, you eventually wipe out anyhow, but, you know, typically you're good to go for a while. It's just getting up. But yeah, I always enjoyed water skiing. But again, that's a summer sport. Never got into snowmobiling. Now, of course, as a kid, I didn't mind winter because we'd go out and play in the snow. And we loved that, making snow forts. And we'd get out of my mom's hair for hours on end, which I'm sure she loved. And of course, back then, you didn't have to worry about your kids so much. You could, especially in summertime, see them go out the door in the morning, and as long as you're back for supper, I don't have to worry about you. Definitely, it's not like that now anymore. You have to constantly be aware of where your kids are at. And like that, oh, did you hear about that horrible story of that younger woman? I can't remember how old she was, and I can't remember where it was. Had called an Uber, thought she was getting into the Uber car, and here it wasn't the Uber. And I guess she could not get back out of the car. I don't know how they know that, but yeah, she was killed. Oh my gosh. So, I mean, you can't even trust calling an Uber anymore. I always would have been nervous about that in the first place. I don't know. What about you guys? Have you ever used an Uber? Because you don't know who's really coming for you, and it could be, you know, it's not like a taxi where you can see that it is a taxi. And not to say that bad things haven't happened with taxis either, because they have. But I would think even more with an Uber, because they're driving with their own car. So is it safe to assume that that is your Uber? I mean, I think this is really going to open people's eyes. you know, into how safe is this program. We don't have a whole lot of that around here. There is some, I think. But I know in the bigger cities, it's a very big thing. Because you typically can get an Uber much faster than get a taxi. I don't know, are they cheaper than taxis? I have no idea. Like I said, we don't really have much of that around here, and I've never had an occasion to even use a taxi. It would probably cost me an absolute fortune to have a taxi come all the way out here. Although I do see them on the highway coming into Marathon, so people do use them even way out here. But yeah, it must cost an awful lot. Because isn't there like a flat fee and then you get charged per mile? Isn't that how it goes? And we're quite a few miles from Wausau. And that's where all the taxis are based out of, so I know that they're coming that far. I can't imagine. Now, the one time they get a lot of business is New Year's Eve. And thank heaven they do. We actually have a program here, and I don't know if, excuse me, if all states have this, but it's getting to be very popular around here, and that's the Safe Ride Home program. And more of the bars are getting into... One moment. Okay, let's see if I can actually get this picture done before I get interrupted again. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the Safe Ride Home program. More and more bars are participating in this, wherein if you get inebriated and you don't have a ride home, they don't want you driving, and they will provide free of charge a taxi to come get you and take you home. You just have to turn over your keys, I think, so that they know you're not going to go back out and drive. And then you just go back and get your car the next day, which I know is one of the reasons a lot of people do drive, is because they don't want to leave their car at the bar. Missed a few fours down there. You know, and I guess I can understand that, but at the same time, you can't be putting people's lives at risk. You know, it's not just your own. And they say when you're drunk, chances are you're not going to get hurt as much as the person that is not drunk if you hit somebody, because your muscles stay much more relaxed when you are inebriated than the person that is sober, because if you're sober, you tense up. And so they say the person that is drunk does not get hurt as bad. Now, granted, it depends upon the accident, of course. But, you know, and I know when you're drunk, you don't think of it that way, but, you know, you're not only putting yourself, your own life at risk, but, you know, you got to think of others too. And like I said, when you're in that frame of mind, that is not what you're thinking about. But I can remember back in the day, you know, people, it wasn't near as big of a thing about driving when you were drinking. Why, I don't know. It was just as dangerous back then. But no, they didn't, you know, have near the penalties that they have now. And don't get me wrong, I am glad that they have really cracked down on drunk driving. It is so dangerous. There have been so many people killed by drunk drivers or seriously hurt. So yeah, it's That Safe Ride Home program is just awesome. And like I said, a lot of people end up using it on New Year's Eve, which is also awesome. Guess what, guys? We got it done. Oh, that is cool. I'm looking at it on the iPad, and so I can see the whole picture at a, glance rather than up close. That looks really neat. I love how this turned out. Now, what is this supposed to be down here? That I don't know. But the lighthouse up on the hill with the dirt, the ground underneath. But yeah, what is this? Again, I love the colors of the sky. Oh, I think that is so pretty. Love it, love it. I am so looking forward to doing the next one out of here. And I'm probably, because I do like the circle ones the best, I am probably going to go through this book and color the circle ones first. Now, the one thing that is good about like the squares, let me zoom you in a little. Where you have the squares, when you see all these number 7s, you just outline all the 7s and then you can just color it all in. So that's the one nice thing about these other shapes to color in. Like this one is the hexagons. So you just go around and you outline, all of, say here, the 16s, just outline that all in and then color it. So that is the one nice thing about these other shapes. To me, these triangles are the hardest out of all of them. But again, you go around and go around all the 6s and then color it in. So that is the one good thing about those shapes versus the circles. But for some reason, I just like coloring in all these circles. So, you think it turned out cute? I do. I like it. It's amazing what just coloring in little dots can do, Because like diamond painting, every time you place a drill down, it's actually technically 1 pixel in a picture. That's exactly what this is, right? You're just coloring in 1 pixel at a time in a picture. And it just amazes me, what the picture can turn out like when you're just, it's not like these circles are real teeny, but the picture still turns out pretty awesome. So I hope you enjoyed this color and chat, and it is only going to end up being 2 parts now that I got this finished in the second part. I'm sure this is going to be over a 2-hour color and chat, so I hope you do like the longer color and chats and that you enjoyed spending some time with me. I was going to say today, but I have no idea when you will be watching this. It may be tonight. So, if you enjoyed this, please hit that like button and subscribe. If you are new to my channel, I hope everybody has a terrific Tuesday, and as always, happy coloring. Bye, guys.